From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
It's Hotline TV, I'm Chuck Todd, and John's still away trying to fix his hair. So I'm joined by Hotline blogometer writer Conn Carroll. Conn, a few weeks ago you talked about the approaches the two sides of the blogosphere would take to the presidential race. Tell us now which candidates each blogosphere favors the most right now. Let's start on the left.
Well, the left really doesn't have a favorite, Chuck. It's kind
of the left or the right?
The left. No favorite on the left.
Good news is they poll all the time.
They do.
Daily Kos, but he is the guy.
It's straw polling,
yeah.
And some of the other sites do some polling, but they really don't have any favorites right now.
But there seems to be their front runners.
There are. You can call them the big three.
Okay,
There's
well,
big three on both sides.
For
the left, the big three is John Edwards, former senator from North Carolina.
Not registering anymore these days in the real world. And
no. Barack Obama.
I've heard of him.
Yes, once or twice. And Wesley Clark, who doesn't seem to show up many other places but in the blogs.
All right, let's take them one at a time, quickly. On the Obama factor,
yeah.
I get it on one hand, but I actually am surprised. Usually when a mainstream media frontrunner is usually not, except particularly one that refuses to take a position on anything. How is he that exciting to the left?
Well, see,
who appreciates positions.
For most of the people on the left, most of the bigger names, Marcos, the people at MyDD, they have a lot more trepidations about Obama. They're a lot more uneasy about him. Specifically, they don't see much of a record there.
Plus, he likes the word bipartisan, and that's
He likes the word bipartisan, and even though it was written in October, it's just getting around the blogosphere now. In a New York Magazine article in October, he said that he doesn't see a lot of nothing he reads on Daily Kos surprises him.
Took a shot at Kos of sorts. It wasn't at Kos the person,
but they took it.
Dialogue.
They took it very personally.
No, really?
Don't act too shocked, Chuck. Marcos was understated. He just simply called it a sister soldier moment, that Obama sister soldiered us. But Chris Bowers at MyDD took it much more personally. Added Digby and some of the other bigger lefty bloggers. And they definitely see it as part of a larger problem of what they hated most about
Lieberman. So his
Lieberman.
number will only go down in the next 6 months. It may end up back up at some point,
right?
But he's only going to disappoint.
Probably.
Because of the unrealistic expectation. All right, let's go with the real shocker here, Wesley Clark. Why is he a front runner in the blogosphere?
Well, he was there from the ground floor back, when Dean was running back in 2004. We're talking early 2003. He was cool for bloggers before it was cool. He's got a strong, military background, obviously, and he's just always played to them, been at the right places. He showed up at yearly class, held a big party, not as big as Warner's party, but still very strong. Constantly paying attention to them, showing.
He bought beer instead of martini.
No, he had it at a better hotel.
Oh, okay.
But he has the foreign policy credentials, and he talks their language, and he's always paid attention to them. And they don't like to be compared to interest groups, but in some ways, if you pay attention to their issues and you show up at the right places, that counts for them.
All right, I know we're going long here. Quickly, Edwards, this is totally the crusade stuff, right? The more he's gotten pro-labor, the more they're like, oh my God, he stands for something. And this is a classic, John Edwards is standing for something.
Well, as I watched 2006, the races followed across the spectrum, there's more and more of an alliance between lefty bloggers and labor. Yeah. Labor's coming open arms to them. Bloggers are coming in with open arms. You can have the old labor,
Edwards
the old votes, and Edwards merges the two. Very popular on the left.
Let's go to the right. Three front runners.
The big
not
three.
As developed, right?
Not as
the
left
developed. Politically, it's just always been more developed than the presidential race.
But definitely strong opinions. Gingrich and Giuliani are the two bigger front runners. But Romney also does well in the righty blogosphere.
We're missing somebody, just like we were on the other side.
Who?
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
the
McCain.
two front runners on both sides do not crack the blogometer.
We didn't even mention Hillary on the other side, right. And of course she's just not liked at all. And same for McCain. And surprisingly,
similar issues in some ways,
not so much for Hillary. I would say the problem with McCain is the same problem they have with Obama, is that a lot of righty bloggers, a lot of people feel that McCain is a backstabber. He talks bad about Republicans, the Gang of 14, appearing too centrist, so that he feels that whenever he makes those type of criticisms, that he's giving a bad name to Republicans in general.
Sister soldier.
It's a sister soldier effect, exactly.
So, to me, the name that pops out most interesting to me is Newt. Simply because it does look like he wants to run. It looks like he wants to run as sort of the grassroots, sort of like I'm a reformed smoker.
Yeah.
I'm a reformed insider. I don't want to be that guy anymore.
Newt even says, he's not really running too much for the nomination, but just to affect the debate. And I think for a lot of the righty bloggers out there.
Red state's ears, right?
They want the debate. They want to be a part of it, and he's definitely going to be their candidate, talking about their kind of more grassroots issues.
We said Daily Kos is the place to go to sort of keep an eye on the left. What's the one or two sites on the right that if you want to just see on the presidential race who's up or down the conventional?
I'd say Red State's probably your best destination for that. Good disagreements there. They have a large number of contributors.
Ruffini, right? Patrick Ruffini was always the place for all these polls.
A lot of different contributors had different opinions on 08. Also, GOP bloggers had one's a great straw poll every month.
And Roger L. Simon probably wants to be a player in this.
Pajamas Media, yeah.
The Jammies Media,
they do a good job as well. But for consistent kind of more kind of activist
Daily
credentials,
Kos, Red State, that's sort of the
those are
2-second surfing.
Well, of course, you always want to check the blogometer first to see what's going on.
The blogometer.nationaljournal.com. Thank you, Conn Carroll. That wraps up today's look at all things bloggable. Actually, what's not bloggable these days. Join us tomorrow to look at the importance of candidate airtime.
Thanks for watching today. I'm Conn Carroll.
And I'm Chuck Todd. We'll see you tomorrow on Hotline TV.